Hello. Welcome to another episode of Read Aloud with Miss Erica. We are so excited to be in our second season of the Read Alouds, talking to amazing authors and artists. And we just want to do that once again. And this one, she is even more amazing than I've probably even read about. And we're going to talk to her. Her name is Miss Tiffany Cash Harris. Hello, Miss Tiffany Cash Harris.
Hi, Erica. How are you? Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be on today.
Yes. How are you?
I am doing well. February has been a very, very busy month, so I'm excited for February to be over. I am more excited of like all the things that I did this month, and this is like the finale, so I'm super excited.
I've been seeing all your videos online and all those different things that you've been doing and talking about. And I think recently you talked chocolate with a little girl named Aria.
Yes, I did. This morning, actually.
Oh, good. Awesome. How was that? Was that amazing?
It was really, really good. Aria is like full of life. She's full of personality. So I knew that she would do like a really, really good job. And her dad, I just love how much they've affirmed her as being like a chocolate skin little girl. Like she is so aware of like who she is, and she just loves herself and she loves her brown skin, and it's just so amazing to see. So I was like, oh no, I have to have her on. And she's always like so excited about everything. So she did a really good job. A really good job.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, so you are a mother, you're an educator, and you're a wife.
Yes.
How long have you been in education?
I've been in education for 14 years. I have taught elementary, I've taught middle school. I am currently teaching early childhood, which I've been teaching early childhood for about 8 years now. So that's pretty much is where I'm going to stay. But yeah.
So you've been you're certified K-8?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. That's awesome. See, I only went pre-K 3, and then I have endorsements for ESL in 6 through 8 or 4 through 8, but I didn't take the test. I was too afraid to make the leap. I was like, oh my gosh.
No,
if they know that I am certified in this school, they're going to push me to a different grade, and I don't want to hit, like, second grade was my limit.
Yeah, I taught middle school when I was young. I was first starting out in education, so children were different. 13 years ago, as I taught in my second year teaching, they were different 13 years ago than what they are now. And it was also a private school, so the expectations were a lot different. I know that I could not teach middle school now. I know that I couldn't teach elementary now. I don't have the patience for it anymore. And I just love the babies. They're just like, they're so excited about learning. And their brains are like sponges. They can soak up so much information.
Yes. I truly believe that first 5 years is where everything just, like, you can just pile it all in, just give it everything.
It's a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing.
I taught kindergarten, second grade, and 1 year of third grade before I pulled my hair out and ran back to second grade in kindergarten. I was like, no. But I definitely, oh my gosh, that's amazing. You have to just love your job. It takes a lot of patience.
You have to. I tell people all the time, teaching is not something you go in because you don't know what else to do, or you have to truly love what you do, because the patience it takes.
Absolutely. So I read a little bit of your bio, but I didn't want to give much away before we started really asking the questions. So the first one, because I know this answer, and I know how meaningful it is why did you decide to write this book?
So I decided to write this book because honestly, I went through that. This is a personal book to me, um, and I had a student. 2020, the year we went out for COVID, I had a
Mhm.
student who's my complexion, but her mother is lighter. Her baby sister was lighter, and her dad was about her complexion. So she told her mom that she didn't want to be her skin color, and she was only 4. She didn't like her skin color. Like, why couldn't she be lighter, like her sister,
Mm.
or like her mom? And it brought back so many like different memories. I don't remember feeling that way at that age, but I do remember feeling that way growing up. And I wrote that book because I didn't want any other little girl to go through life feeling like that and having those insecurities. Um, and I honestly didn't even know that there was other little people feeling like that. I didn't even know it was a thing. I thought it was something I just dealt with within myself, but to hear a 4-year-old say that, um, I just didn't want another little girl going through life with those insecurities. Like, I needed her to know very early on that her skin is beautiful, and it's
Absolutely.
perfect. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So your book, it's called Chocolate Milk with a Side of Beauty. And I was looking at the pictures and I love illustrations. And it's so bad because sometimes and I don't like saying it, but I'll read all books, but sometimes books without like that good representation or that
Mhm,
a good illustration, I'll
mhm.
kind of shy away from at first because I'm like, I don't know. Like, but and then when I read it, the words are like more meaningful. Like I have to really get onto that, but it starts with those illustrations.
Yeah,
I feel like it does.
definitely.
And your illustrations are just so beautiful. That little brown chocolate little girl is just so cute.
Very
Like I
emotional.
love puffs, and that was my niece's. That's my niece's favorite hairstyle.
Mhm.
And so when I saw it, I was like, it's my niece. So
I love it.
I'm gonna let you go ahead and read your book, and I'm just gonna sit in awe of all of the words and things that you have to say with it.
Okay, awesome. I'm excited. Okay, let me get it out. So this is my book. It's Chocolate Milk with a Side of Beauty, and this is Gabrielle. So I dedicated this book to the little girl that still lives inside of me, and to every brown and black little girl learning to love themselves. I'm a teacher, so I can kind of read pretty good with the pictures and everything. Gabrielle is a little girl with dark brown skin like a tall glass of chocolate milk. Her mommy says that her black skin makes her as sweet as chocolate chip cookies. Her daddy says that her black skin makes her the prettiest girl in the whole wide world. Gabrielle has 2 best friends named Brooke and Khalees. They have beautiful black skin just like Gabrielle. They love having sleepovers, playing mommy and baby, and playing dress up in the mirror. As Brooke and Khalees smiled at their reflections in the mirror, Gabrielle had a frown on her face. Look at us, shouted Brooke. We look so pretty, said Khalees. I don't think I look pretty, said Gabrielle. Your skin is the color of vanilla ice cream, said Gabrielle to Brooke. And your skin is the color of caramel, said Gabrielle to Khalees. But my skin is the color of a tall glass of chocolate milk, said Gabrielle. The next day, Gabrielle goes to school and sees her teacher, Miss Harris. Gabrielle sees that Miss Harris's skin is tan like honey and not dark brown like a tall glass of chocolate milk. Gabrielle starts to imagine herself with Miss Harris's skin. She whispers to herself, I like her skin better than mine. I want Miss Harris's skin. My skin is too ugly. The school bell rings and Gabrielle snaps out of it. She hurries to pack her stuff up, and her dad sees her and says, Gabby, I have a big surprise for you at home. Gabrielle says, Is it a new doll? Is it a great big bowl of ice cream? Is it a brand new dress? Is it a tube of lip gloss? Daddy, what is it? Said Gabrielle. Wow, what it's gonna be. When they got home, Daddy told Gabrielle to cover her eyes. Gabrielle could not stop giggling. She was so excited. After she covers her eyes, Gabrielle starts to count backwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can open your eyes now, shouted Daddy. It's a cookie party, Gabrielle said with excitement. She gave her daddy a great big hug and shouted, Thank you so much. I love my surprise. All her favorite cookies were there. Sugar cookies, peanut butter cookies, and even chocolate chip cookies. You can have 2 cookies to eat before dinner, said Daddy. Thank you so much for cookies, for that cookie party, said Gabrielle. You're welcome. I am so happy to have such a pretty girl to eat cookies with, said Daddy. I like eating cookies with you too, Daddy, but I don't think I'm a pretty girl, said Gabrielle. Why do you think that, Gabby? Daddy asked. My skin is so dark. I don't like my black skin. I want prettier skin, like Brooke, Khalees, or even Miss Harris, Gabrielle said. Gabrielle's daddy picked her up and gave her a great big hug. He took her in front of the mirror and said, Gabby, let me show you something. Brooke, Khalees, and Miss Harris have black skin just like you. But black people are like magic. We have different skin colors. Your skin is perfect. It is a beautiful dark brown that is smooth as hot cocoa on a cold winter day. You really think so, Daddy? Asked Gabrielle. Yes, I do, said Daddy. As a matter of fact, your skin is beautiful like Shuri and Ikea from Black Panther, and it glows just like Princess Tiana's. Your skin shines bright in the sunlight and blends in perfectly with the moonlight. Your skin is just like my favorite drink, a tall glass of chocolate milk with a side of beauty. Oh, thank you, Daddy, Gabrielle shouted with a big smile on her face. I get it now. Black skin comes in many colors, but we are all beautiful. I will always love my beautiful chocolate milk skin, said Gabrielle. Handing her a glass of chocolate milk, Daddy asked, Do you promise? Smiling, Gabrielle said, I promise. My name is Tiffany Cash Harris, and I promise I always love my skin. 3, 2, 1, my story is done.
That was absolutely gorgeous. That was beautiful. I love that book.
So much.
And the affirmation in the end makes it just so much better, because kids need that consistent affirming, just so because they keep growing up. They're growing up and constantly changing, figure out who they are, who they want to be. And sometimes it's not something they just love seeing in the mirror. So those affirmations are just so important. And I think that's just a beautiful part of your book. So thank you for writing that. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
I don't know about anybody else, but chocolate milk is a
Baby.
I love chocolate milk now.
I love chocolate milk.
As a kid, my granddad used to get chocolate milk, and like we drink some chocolate milk. And even now, as an adult, I find myself like trying to go and get some milk, and I'm like,
Yeah,
Ugh,
the chocolate.
the
It's
chocolate.
sweet, it just has a sweetness to it that, other milk doesn't have.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So, when did you first realize that you wanted to be a writer?
So, one thing about me, I have a very wild imagination. It is very big, and I always imagine myself doing these great big things, right? So, I imagine myself being an author, but never really thinking that I was going to be an author. And honestly, it just happened during COVID. I had thought about like different things that I can discuss, like with like my students, and um, different ways, different things I was feeling because of the environment and the atmosphere that the world was in during that time. During COVID, there was a lot of like crime being done to like Black people, and there were also a lot of people not really loving who they were, and embracing their skin. And one day, honestly, I think I was going out for like a walk or something, and I didn't want to be in the sun. Um, and I had to tell myself, like, no, like it's okay to be in the sun. It's okay to be darker, And like the thought, it just came to my mind, like, I think I want to write a children's book. I think this is something that I don't want any other little girl to go through this. So I'm gonna, really write a children's book. But I had no idea like where to start, who to go to. I had no idea of those things. And like it was literally God, how everything had just happened and how everything was just so just strategically in place and how it was in order. And I'm just like, wow. And boom, I was an author just like that.
Oh my gosh. Let's see. You guys are brave because I literally, I've had ideas, and like you, I have a vivid imagination, and I could see all these big, huge things that I want to
Yes.
do, like with culture books, with all the things that I'm doing. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so big. Oh yes, let's do it. Then I'm like, I have no clue how to start this up.
Yeah.
Like it's,
Yeah.
you can think of it like it in high, like man, you can go as big as you want to be, but when it starts to start up, it's like, ooh, I have no clue where to go.
Yeah. Like
So that's
literally no clue. I had no clue on what to
that
do.
bravery though, that bravery, and just, oh gosh, you have, that's so much talent. I've even had ideas for books and stuff that I want to write, and I'm still like, I don't know what to do with that.
Now I tell people, do it. Like, do it. Do it. It doesn't even matter. I would have never ever thought that I would have been an author. Like even in those big, even in my big imagination, I would have never thought that I would have actually did it.
Mhm.
Um, and it came so easy. It
That's
came
amazing.
so easy. So yeah.
So the little girl's name, her name is Gabrielle,
Mhm.
and I noticed that her teacher's name is Miss Harris.
Mhm.
Um, what inspiration do you have around you? Is that little girl based upon someone who is real, like a real person? Um, Miss Harris seems like she's based on you, but I don't know. I'm just asking. Let's see. But what inspirations do you pull from to like help you build those characters, build like just the storyline, and like begin writing?
So the inspiration that I pull from, I like my experiences as a mom, but like most importantly as a teacher, honestly. When I was writing the book, I thought of my students in mind, like, okay, what kind of things would they would be able to connect to, what kind of questions could the teacher come formulate out of this page. Like that is literally how I wrote the book. I wrote the book based on just me being a teacher and like knowing like what children that age liked, um, and how they can connect to the book, like chocolate milk. So I knew that they can connect to chocolate milk. Like they know what chocolate milk tastes like. They know that it's good, that it's sweet, and they know what it looks like, right? So
Mm.
everything I did with the book, it was just I had my students in mind, because my daughter she's a teenager, so I definitely wasn't thinking about her, and she's not a dark skinned girl. Um, but I definitely thought about like my students and like what I would look like up there reading them this story. Um, And the characters actually, Gabrielle is my daughter's middle name.
Mm,
Um, and the little girl Khalees, that's my daughter's first name.
I
Um,
love it.
and Brooke is my best friend's, uh, my goddaughter. That's her middle name. So like this book is literally my life. Like me and my best friends, we're still best friends to this day. Like we would go over, we play dress up, just little stuff like that. It's just like bits
Yeah.
and pieces of my life, just kind of like, dramatized and thinking of like my students during
Yeah.
that time. Like they like dress up, they like, being with their teachers, sitting on the carpet. Like all of those little things are just things that little girls like.
Oh my gosh, you are not, and boys. Oh my goodness. My friends, when I was teaching kindergarten, my friends who were in theater and stuff like that had like costumes, old costumes and stuff, and like different things and masks and hair pieces that they just give to my class for like dress up time if they
Oh,
wanted to, if we had to
wow.
do like inside recess or something like that because it was
Mhm.
raining. So I'd pull out this big old box of things and like this big old bin of like different things. And when I tell you these kids,
They love
I
it.
had I had never seen anything like it. Like they were like, Miss Richardson, look at me.
Yes.
And all the boys was like, how you doing? I was like, oh
Uh-huh.
my gosh, who did you guys become?
Yeah, they
They
are. I love it. That's why I love early childhood. I mean, their
yes.
imaginations are amazing.
Amazing. I never in the world would think that I thought they were going to think it was just so not
Oh
cool or anything
no.
like that because this day and age with all the kids, everything's changing. They loved it. They
Mhm.
love playing dress up. They love trying to like figure out how to do something and talking in all these different
Yes.
accents and all that
Yes.
stuff. And I was like, I thought that was just me. This is so fun.
No, they love all of that stuff, and especially my boys too. Like they love dressing up. Like we're in the vet unit now, so we
Uh,
like pet doctors and um training, like a dog training, and they have like the whistles around their neck, and they even put their ears on like their dog. So like they like to tap into that, and that was pretty much with the book. I wanted to tap into like all of those intricate pieces, although it's geared towards little girls. Like little boys, they sit down, they have snack, they play with their friends, and I read it to my boys too. They weren't not engaged, so I made sure that when I wrote the book is you know to make it a way where kids will stay engaged.
Absolutely. So, as a kid, were there any books that um you think about, especially when you're writing or something, or were there any books that you just love that even stays with you now as an adult?
So, what I can actually admit to, there weren't many books that I can remember growing up where I saw characters who looked like me.
Mm,
Um, that wasn't something that I remember reading. One thing I do remember my mom buying me, I don't know if you heard of American Girl.
yes.
Okay,
Oh,
so um, one of the girls' name was Addie. She was the only Black girl.
I think I remember
Only
her.
Black girl,
Yes.
yes. So I had the Addie collection, and I really liked reading the Addie books. But that is honestly the only books, the book that I can remember with a little girl who looked like me. And I used to love reading Babysitter's Club, but that had nothing to do with culture.
Yeah.
But those are
I
just
was in the club too. I was in the club. Do
yes.
you know, okay, so I need to know, do you remember, were you actually a part of the club where they would send you the book and like a little packet of stuff?
Yes,
It
I
was like,
was. I
yes,
really loved
oh,
Babysitter's Club. Like really, really loved it. I really loved it. I had, and my mom was taken to the library too to get the books as well.
yes,
I
yes.
really loved
Okay.
Babysitter's Club.
That makes my heart happy because I was like, I know I'm not the only one who was in this club.
No,
And
me and
you
my best
get the
friend,
stuff
like
in
we
the
used to
mail.
read them. Yes, definitely. And also with the Addie collection too. They used to send stuff too in the mail.
Oh,
Um,
that's
so I
cool.
had like two books with those. But also books that as an adult, as a teacher, I thought of when I was writing this book, I'm Enough and Hair Love. Um, I fell in love with Hair Love when I first read it to my students in 2020. I was like, wow, like this is amazing. Like as a teacher, I've never really read a whole lot of books to my students with characters that look like them. Like this is something new that like the school system is trying to start incorporating, and I love it. But like I fell in love with it. Like I said, oh, this is real life. Like little girls' hair, they do that. Like they can change it, and that's what I wanted for this book. I wanted it to be something that was relatable, something that they can connect to. So
Yes. Oh my gosh, that is so great. Okay, so I know that you have been talking about, writing and all of that. How many books have you written so far?
this is actually my first book. This is my first
Really?
book. Yeah, I've never written a book before this book. This is my first book, my first baby. I do have another book that will be coming out. I don't know when I'm going to drop it, but it's going to come out. But it's going to kind of be like a continuation from this book. Um, but it's going to be geared towards little girls and little boys. So it's not just going to be for little girls. But yes, I have a couple of little things in my brain that my brain runs constantly.
You
Uh,
know,
so yes, I do. But one for sure is coming after this. And I was thinking of doing something for my son. He's really into basketball.
yeah.
Um, and I was thinking of doing something for him. I like toyed with it because Khalees's name is in here. His name is not in anything.
Yes, you gotta do everybody.
So I toyed with the idea, but definitely the second book, it'll probably be out maybe like next year around this time, something like that.
So where can our readers find your book? Where can we go and buy your book?
You can buy my book at Lit for Black Kids. You can also purchase my book at Amazon. You can also purchase my book at Target online. You can also purchase my book on Barnes and Noble.
That's awesome. So did you are you self-published or did you go through a publisher?
I am self-published. I did go through a company that has like an editor, an illustrator.
Mhm.
They did like, make sure I had like my copyrighted stuff. They did everything, like my ISBN number,
Yeah.
everything they did. That's one thing I would say, like definitely get with, especially for your first book. I feel like maybe you should get with the company first that can kind of like, help you along the way. Cause I don't know if I would have been able to do that by myself. So
Gotcha. That's
that's
awesome.
self-publishing.
So we are coming to the end of our episode, which is sad because guys, I don't know if anybody else sees this amazingness in this lady, but this
So
is amazing. I'm so happy that you came on the show and let us interview you and listen to
I'm
your
just
amazing.
excited. I'm just excited that I had the opportunity. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
So one last question before we end completely.
Okay.
Is there anything that you would like to say to young readers and writers there who are aspiring to do what you do or anything else?
Okay. There are a few things that I would like to say. The first thing is keep dreaming. Like, don't ever stop dreaming. Never give up, and always know how beautiful and amazing you are. I think that it is really important to dream, like dream, and don't just dream, but make those dreams come true.
Absolutely. This has been great.
Yes,
Thank
I
you.
really enjoyed this. Thank you so much, Erica. This was
Of
really, really a
course.
great way to end off February.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so, so much for coming and being with us today. Thank you, everyone who is watching. And stay tuned because, of course, we're not just going to end it like this. We'll be back with another author for another episode of We Do Our Miss Erica. Dun, 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 dun. I'll see
Yay.
you guys next time.
Bye.